Welcome to episode 18 of the This Is Reportage podcast. My name is Alan Law, I'm the founder of This Is Reportage, and I'm a wedding photographer too. Today I'm really excited to have the fab Steven Herrschaft with us. Based in Germany, Steven has made our top photographer list for both 2018 and 2019, with a lifetime award count of 10 Reportage Awards and 4 Story Awards, which is an incredible achievement. Steven shares so much with us today, including how he got into wedding photography at the age of 16, his past life as a competitive swimmer and how that's helped him, why he shoots solo, the importance of doing what's right for you and not to please other people, and so much more. Hey Steven, how you doing?
Hey Alan, fine. How about you?
I am really good, thanks. Yeah, really good. How's things with you? How's it? You're over in Germany. How is it over there?
Yeah, weather's bad, but besides that, I'm pretty relaxed right now. So it's off season, just yeah,
That's
normal stuff at the computer and lots of mails and all that stuff. But I'm fine. I'm fine.
That's good. Good to hear. We were chatting just before starting this, and you said how recently you went and shot a wedding and engagement in New York, was it?
Yes, true.
Man, how was that?
I loved it. Like it's crazy. It's just mind blowing that I get those opportunities to come like around and just do things like that. And traveling to New York was just a pretty big thing for me because it was always one of the cities that was on my bucket list for traveling. And like that couple came to me and said, "Hey, we want to get married in New York," and I was just crazy. Like I said, I have to do this because I always wanted to go to New York, never did it, and like that opportunity was just amazing for me, really.
Oh, that's cool, man. I'd love to go. I've never been to New York, and you love America in general, don't you? It is cool.
I do.
So how did this couple find? Was it a German couple or an American couple? Or
Yes, it was a German couple, and
okay.
they did kind of the elopement ceremony and like all that stuff, which was cool. Just the both of them, really small wedding, and yeah, basically Germans like who are in New York and living there since a few years.
Okay, cool. Nice, very nice. I've got to go sometime. So one thing I know people always talk to you about this, but it is such an interesting subject, I think. One thing that quite a lot of photographers say is, I wish I'd gotten into this at a much earlier age. But you, however, you really did. Weren't you about 16 when you started?
Right. I shot my first wedding with 16 years, and yeah, now I'm 22. So yeah, things keep going.
Wow, though, man, 16. So how did you start so young? What was the instigator for you? Why did you decide at 16 that you wanted to do weddings?
Well, things started pretty weird because it didn't start with weddings or photography at all. Like I did a photography course in school when I was like 12 or 13, and like I liked photography, but I was a swimmer for 10 years of my life, from 8 to 18 years. I've been a swimmer.
Right.
And I did this as a high performance sports. That's like I was state champion. I trained like 20 hours a week, and
Wow.
Which is pretty much, of course. But I always trained with people who are like pretty much older than me, like most of them. And one day, like another guy from another team came over. He was a new swimmer and he was a wedding photographer. So a conversation started, and he told me, "Hey, he's a wedding photographer, and weddings are awesome, and like I have to come with him, basically." And I always said, like, I don't want to do this, man. It's just, I mean, I was 16, and I had other things on my mind than shooting weddings. I never been to a wedding before.
Right.
And I always thought like, oh, wedding photography, that's the one where like basically all that post stuff where like people are hiding behind trees and doing this posy, shitty stuff that you always see on the internet when you don't know what wedding photography actually can be.
Right. Yeah.
So one day I said to him, "I'll come with you just one time, so you're quiet afterwards, and I'm out of this, and I will never do it again." That was the plan.
It changed a bit.
I shot my first wedding with him, and basically I said, "This is what I want to do for the rest of my life. This is like so awesome, and I just want to do this."
Wow, right from the first one, you really loved it then.
Yes, I just loved all the emotions, all the craziness going with these days, and just it's just fun, and like not too much since that changed about that in my mind for towards weddings, because I love it, and I like this mentality with the boy going to with his camera to wedding and just shoot what is on his mind and just shoots what interests him. It just it's pretty much the same right now, even after 6 years, and
Ah,
that's what I love.
that's cool, man. I mean, that's really cool. So as well, how did you really start at 16? Did you really shoot your own weddings from 16 onwards as well?
I did 15 weddings as a second shooter, and
Right.
afterwards I said I want to do this on my own because I wasn't. I always had my own visions in my mind and what I want to do and what I don't like, and I said I want to do this on my own because I want to do all of this like 100% me and just don't be a copy of someone else.
Mm,
And like that's when I started with like 1 year later when I was 17. I
right.
decided, look, basically starting my own business. Like which is crazy. Like I was still a student in school, and yeah, I said I will do this on my own, which is crazy,
It
honestly.
is. It is crazy, but it's awesome. It's really brave as well. What did your parents think of you doing it?
I think no one really believed in all of this.
Really?
I always had to. I feel like I always had to be a fighter for what I'm doing, and I didn't learn any shortcuts for what I'm doing. I even never did a workshop or something like that on my own before,
Oh,
and
right.
just
Okay.
everything self-taught. And yeah, it was crazy.
Wow.
It's crazy that I did everything on my own. And still today, I'm not someone who like sends his pictures over to any post-processing office somewhere else. Just everything goes through my hand because I feel like it's my business, and everything I'm doing is my signature and my style, what I want to do with. And yeah, it's basically everything me.
Well, that's cool, man. And I think it's becoming even more. It's always been important to be you and be unique, but I think it's becoming even more and more important with this market getting, increasingly competitive as well. And you've
True.
you've definitely got your own distinctive style, and you're mega successful, winning awards left, right, and center. So it's doing really well for you. Do when you meet some clients, are they ever visibly surprised that how young you are, or do they always do you think they know how young you are before they book you? Do you use it as a kind of a selling point, even your kind of your youth?
Um, Throughout my career, it really depended on my self-confidence, to be honest,
Right.
because in the start, I didn't want to say it. Like they didn't know actually.
Mm.
It just like sometimes like in conversations, like they said things like, "Oh, you're looking pretty young, right?" And I said, "Yeah, well, I'm like 17, 18, something like that." And they said, "Oh, crazy." But it wasn't a disadvantage, and that's when I started to like openly communicate about that. But like now, since like a year or so, it just basically just don't have it anymore on my website or something like that because I don't want to be booked for my age, but for what I'm doing. That's
Totally.
way more important. And even with like in the wedding photography community, it just I like I don't want to be that young guy anymore. I just want to be recognized for the stuff that I'm doing, and it's got way more important for me than just be a young photographer who is not too bad at taking pictures.
Oh yeah, no, totally. And you are already recognized for your brilliant work. It's just a very interesting story as well. And I think it's very inspiring though to, there may be some listeners who are like 15, 16 or 17 wanting to do this. And so it's very inspiring that you were able to do it at such an early age.
It's yeah, it's pretty awesome because even today I don't know a lot of young other photographers. It's just like most of the other people out there just basically do another job, and in their
Mm.
30s they say they don't like it anymore and then just skip it and do photography, like some of them as a side business and then stepping towards full time. But I don't know a lot of young photographers out there. Just
No, that's true. I don't either. I think maybe a big part of that is you need to be very confident on the people side as well, to go and do weddings. It's a lot obviously is about photography, but a lot is also about how you deal with other people. And a lot of 16, 17-year-olds don't have the confidence to do that, I think.
yeah, true in some ways, because it's hard, and it's not that easy to be that confident when you're just yeah, at such a young age, and all the people around you are super like way older than you, and you just have to do your thing and learn to do what feels right to you in some ways, and just trust in the stuff you know you can do. And yeah, that's basically
Yeah.
where
What
I
were
live.
you
Yes.
what were you like at school? Were you always kind of forging your own ways there or yeah, what was a young Steven Herrschaft like at school?
I mean, I was the guy who always did his homework and was like super. I mean, I have to always had to be super structured because of swimming. And I mean, I did 20 hours of swimming every week. And the weekends, I just like been traveling like whole Germany and do competitions, something like that. So I
Oh
had
wow.
really structured for all that, and that's what really helps me right now in my day-to-day life.
Okay.
I
That's
mean,
cool.
I know what it's like to get up at 5 a.m. and doing your work, and like like even when my photography business had started and I did my weddings, I always had to I always had to do like post processing in like 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. Then I had to college, for example, and afterwards just doing all that again, and then doing some workouts and all that things, which is pretty crazy. But it
Yeah.
helps now, really.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, how it's given you a good basis to get work done. I think that's really good. And swimming must be like really competitive, because you're competing over like tenths of a seconds and things, aren't you?
That's
Aren't
right.
you? Has that competitiveness, do you think that helps in your wedding photography? I mean, do you see the business as being competitive? Yeah, what do you think about that?
Um, I love competitions.
Yeah.
That's why I basically love wedding photography as well, because there are so many great competitions out there, and I you can basically I love to win, and I love to to do good work, and yeah, that's kind of yeah, and a big influence. Like, and like when you're talking to a lot of other creative minds and a lot of other creative wedding photographers out there who are really really good in what they're doing, like when you're listening to their stories, like you like it's not for all of them, but I know a few really good photographers out there who've been in like in high performance sport and did something like that in their early life, just before like getting to their job.
Okay.
And yeah, it's just cool, and it's that kind of mentality to like trying to be better with what you're doing, and just never stop learning and never stop striving to be a better person in what you're doing. And
Mm,
yeah.
that's so important, isn't it? You said earlier as well that you didn't go to any workshops when you started out.
Right.
Have you been to workshops since?
I haven't.
Have you not really? No.
It's pretty crazy because I'm starting to develop my own workshop right now,
Oh,
but
cool.
just because I feel like there are so many things in the wedding business itself that I don't really like, and just it fucks me up. Just all the things going on right now, and
What
it's
like I was actually going to ask you what annoys you in our industry. So you've touched upon that already. What kind of things don't you like?
I feel like people are not, in my opinion, we have too many people out there who money is the most important factor in their business, and we all have to earn money, and that's
Mm,
completely true, and I know that, and I have to earn money to live, and that's completely right. But we're forgetting to be a better photographer and earning more money for what we're doing.
mm,
So getting a better photographer is, in my opinion, way more important to just try to make more money with everything you're doing and just basically like doing shitty pictures, just having a shitty business and then trying to get more money from that. Sorry, I got my phone.
Yeah, that's okay. I get what
And
you mean. Yeah.
yeah, just I try to help people with getting a better photographer and being more motivated with what they're doing and not just saying I need to get more money, more money, more money. Like money is an important factor and I know that, but I want to help people to give their directions in photography and I don't have to be a wedding photographer like me or something like that. I want to help um, other people in their directions they're going.
Cool.
And that's basically what I want to do, and that's basically the things in my mind for a workshop. It's more like a mentoring coaching style,
Right.
but
Okay.
I feel like that helps people way more, and yeah, and I don't want to I don't want to have to like fanboy sitting here and want to learn what I do. I want to help others getting better in what they're doing.
That's cool, man. I think that's a really good approach. I'm sure. Yeah, that's great. Exciting as well.
It's just yeah. I'm planning right now. I think it will be pretty cool to be honest, and we'll see.
Cool, man. I wish you all the best for that. I'm sure it's going to be
Thank
great.
you,
That'd be really good.
thank you.
Let's change tack slightly again then now. Let's ask, what's your favorite Netflix or other streaming service TV series? Or what are you watching at the moment? Do you watch much TV?
I don't have a TV anymore, but I watch a lot of Netflix to be honest.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
in my free time when I like in the evening or something like that before going to sleep. Um,
Yeah,
God,
what's some of your favorite? Because people are always looking for new things to watch, so it's quite interesting to hear what.
I love all that kind of mindfuck series. I love you know maybe no Dark. It's a
I love Dark,
series.
and I love that. That is literally, I absolutely love it, and we watch it in German as well with English subtitles.
Oh, that's
It's
crazy.
but it's amazing. I absolutely love it. I can't wait for the third series.
Yeah, me too. I watched like the first season like maybe 10 times or something like that. It
Have
just
you really?
repeat it like keep on repeating because like you notice like more and more things like connecting like every time you're watching it again. It's just crazy that
Oh, that's
stuff. And I love all of kind of like crazy stuff. I also love Inception as a movie, which is pretty crazy
you know, I've
stuff.
never seen it. I need because that's Christopher Nolan, isn't it, director?
Yes,
Yeah, I've never
yes.
seen it.
You should. It's just it blows your mind.
That's cool because I love Interstellar that Christopher
Oh yeah,
Nolan did as well. I
yeah,
love that film. That's brilliant.
that's nice. Yeah,
Oh,
cool.
cool. Okay, people should watch Dark. They really should. And
Definitely.
and if you're non-German speaking, doesn't matter. Watch it in German with subtitles. I think that's a lot better than being dubbed.
Really?
Yeah. Don't
Yeah.
you think?
Like we're living in a country where everything is synchronized with the voices because like I know other people like in other places like Croatia. I talked to a friend in Croatia. He said like they were always watching things with subtitles, and we're in Germany. We have like everything translated to our language, so
Oh, okay.
we're pretty used to bad synchronized voices.
Oh, that's funny. You must watch Dark just in natural German though, don't you? You don't.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. Yeah, that would be strange if you watched it in English dubbed or something.
Yeah. That's weird.
Cool. Has there been a book that you've read that's had a lasting impact on you in some way? You know, it could be fiction or non-fiction.
I'm not reading too much to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't have the time. Like I guess I would read more if I had the time to, but
Mm.
yeah, I don't know. I'm not a book reader.
No, that's cool. Well, time, as you say though, time is the most important thing, really, isn't it? And
Definitely.
it's when we, as wedding photographers, we're busy all the time. It is difficult. What do you do when you do have some spare time? What do you enjoy doing?
Um, I still love doing sports, and I do sports 1 hour a day, so it's just the stuff that I'm doing in my free time basically. So
Oh, okay. Is that more swimming or other sports? Or?
at the moment I don't swim too much anymore. It's more about body weight stuff, athletics, all that things. I'm running. It's just basically I'm doing stuff to keep me fit for the weddings and the new wedding season. Just
Cool. Yeah,
that
that's
things. I'm seeing the bigger picture.
it's good. It's so important to keep fit though. It's actually really quite a physical job, isn't it?
Fitness is one of the key factors in wedding photography, I guess. And I feel like not too much people are realizing that. But I mean, you have to be, you don't only have to be fit in like the first 4 hours, but basically like even in night, like at 3 a.m. in the morning after a full day of running around and doing all of the crazy stuff, you still have to be creative and have to be the fitness to run like crazy if there is a situation that that needs to yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, it is really physically demanding. And people get like a kind of wedding hangover from that kind of physicality and lack of good food and lack of water and things. It's a
True.
great job, but it is also quite intense as well.
True. And what I also realized with like body fitness also comes mental fitness. So if
Mm.
you're because your body only has like amount of energy, and like when your body is like completely exhausted and you're really like basically like everything's hurting, you won't be creative. And
Mm.
that's why like working so much to keep my body fit to be creative, like even in the evening
Mm.
and at night.
I think that's really good advice. It is, and as you say, it's something that maybe a lot of people don't think about really as well. So yeah, it's really important. Although I'm doing a bit of running. I still don't like running. Do you actually enjoy it?
It's not really. I
No.
mean, when it's getting like warmer, but at the moment it's just like so cold outside. I'm just freezing, and
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
And I never was a runner. I always was swimmer in first place, but I'm not too much enjoying right now. I mean, I've been swimming like yeah, maybe once a week, like at
Okay.
max. But yeah,
It's more of an effort to go swimming though, as well, isn't it? Because you have to
it's
go
true.
out to the swimming pool and yeah.
It's
Anyway.
true.
Okay, let's change tack again slightly. In terms of marketing, and getting
Yeah.
yourself out there, what's been the most effective for you, do you think?
Just I feel like creating a uh, unique brand and unique style and unique just be a unique person like is so important in today's wedding photography market because I mean let's face the fact that the markets are oversaturated right now. There are way too many photographers for clients who are willing to pay a lot.
Mm.
So you have to try to be unique to them and stand out
Oh, I
like
know.
the other people that you're competing with.
Mm, definitely.
So yeah, be unique. I think that's the best advice and be you.
Yeah, I totally agree with that as well. I really do. That's
That's
so integral.
pretty important because then they will come back and say, "Hey, that guy was cool, and he creates some stuff that I didn't see at other wedding photography websites."
Totally. And then it helps with you charging more as well. If they can only get
True.
that certain type of imagery from you, then you can
Yes.
almost charge what you want really in a way. So yeah,
Yes.
totally. I think that's vital. Um, did you always think like that then from when you started at 16, 17? It sounded like you did really, that you kind of really, you always shot in your own unique way.
I mean, I always had some people that they weren't idols or something like that, but I had people that I was looking up to. I
Mm,
was always inspired by Fearless, and I just
mm.
have to admit that it's just
Oh yeah.
I came to this website when I was like I was 17 or something like that, and this basically just opened a new world of wedding photography to me, which was pretty
Mm,
insane, and I always want to be as good and yeah, this was kind of my influence, but like it developed away from just one person to grabbing just a few things here and there from pictures that I like and creating something unique and own, which more looks like your style that you're doing and your stuff that you're doing.
mm.
So it's a mix of everything, and I would be wrong for to say I've never been influenced by someone else. It's just a lie.
Yeah.
So
No, but that's cool. That I like you. I remember coming across Fearless and it changing a viewpoint of things. And for me, it was like the work of Ferraristi when I saw his
yeah,
work in a wedding photography, no, in a photography magazine. I was like, wow, weddings can be so much different.
true.
It's
He's insane. That guy is just crazy. He's so cool, and
yeah,
he's a creator, and that's what I love. He creates special images that you've never seen before, and that's what I like, and that's what I'm striving to as well. Just creating stuff that I've never seen before in other images.
that's cool.
So
Very cool.
that's the big goal in photography, because I want to don't be like someone else. I want to be me, and like given my impact in this wedding photography business and wedding photography community.
That's so cool. I think that's such a good, valid path to go down. So
I mean,
important.
even when judging other competitions, I see so many images that I've seen before, and I just don't want for that, because it's just like, why should someone else like be credited for stuff that he hasn't created? So
Right. Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. And let's talk about a few of your Reportage Awards in particular
yeah,
are quite surreal and I think quite purposefully so. And I think they seem to come about because of your purposeful positioning. For example, the one where it looks like it's like a cake child, and then the beach shots where it looks like it's like a half dog, half bride, and the
yeah,
car reflection shot where it looks like a
yeah.
cross between a dad and a bride. Are you always looking out for those kind of opportunities, or do they just? I don't know. How do you get inspired for those kind of images?
I mean, it depends. I mean, at the moment for my workshop, of course, I'm trying to get logics for what I'm doing, but sometimes just things like coming in my mind. It's just 2 seconds, and I feel, oh, that would look cool. Like the one on the beach. It was like I was the second shooter for Isabel Hatting.
Oh,
You
cool.
probably know her.
Yep, yep.
Um, and I was second shooting with her on that day, and it was a pretty cool day. But I was just like running, like walking around, and said like, oh, okay, that would look cool. Just like basically laying on the floor and just shot like 10 images or something like that, and one of them like completely hit the mark, and just said, okay, that's cool. That's pretty cool.
That is very cool.
And I don't have that secret recipe, but I love perspective, and I love changing perspective. I'm basically more of a worker on a wedding day than I guess other people, because I'm changing perspective all the time, and like just trying to do new things, and just basically searching for angles that could work,
Mm.
like having ideas. And to be honest, like maybe like 10% of my ideas will work out, but that's okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. And you're putting in that work to find them. Do
Right.
do you then, just out of interest, when you shoot your weddings, do you always have a second shooter or do you shoot
I don't.
solo?
I don't. As I
Oh,
said,
okay.
everything me.
No, that's cool. Yeah, I was just talking to someone else, and they just always really recommended having that second shooter. So you have the creative freedom then to get the more different shots. But that's great that you can do it with just being a solo shooter as well.
Um, I feel like of course, there's always advantages and disadvantages for that stuff. But for me, it makes me more free, and it makes me more focused on the people in front of me, instead of just having to look like all the time towards my second shooter, and like looking and just not trying to stand in his images, and just it didn't work. I tried like twice, or like 2 or 3 times in the last years, and it just didn't really work. So yeah, I love running around. So and I feel like it's okay for me to don't have someone else with me.
No, no, it's cool. I mean, I'm the same as you. I'm solo shooter. I've never had a second shooter as well.
Oh,
So,
cool.
I enjoy it this way. And, I kind of sell it to couples as well that the business is based on me and my style. And that's same for
Right,
you, not second shooter
right.
styles. And And personally, for me, I think the less cameras there are around, the less
Yes,
camera aware people are, which is what we want. But I
true.
see this, as you say, there are benefits and disadvantages of both ways of doing
Yeah,
it
of
as
course.
well.
Like sometimes there are situations where I feel like, okay, I can't go that risk anymore.
Mm,
But I feel like we're having too much pressure on what images we might think are necessary and what aren't. Because when you're like really going down to what art and like the images that the bride and groom really needs, it comes down to like 15 images or something like that. I mean, a ceremony kiss has to be like a first dance shot has to be um like the changing of the rings and the vows and all that stuff. But like besides that, you basically have like so much creative freedom that
mhm.
I don't feel like it's important to have someone else who catches that stuff as well.
No, that's cool. Yeah, very valid. Very valid.
And like, I mean, you don't have to like basically having a second person who shoots the guest like one more time. And like when you're calling, you have the guest from that perspective and one from that perspective, which is just weird. And it's more work, like, and it's not necessary, I think.
No, I agree with you, and that's just the way I've always done it as well.
And
And
I'm what are you saying?
oh no, I was going to say also, I have enough of my own awful wedding photos to look at as well.
True.
I don't want to go through another second shoot of thousands as well. I hope none of my couples or brides listen. Some of my photos are good. Some of my photos are good. Has there been a specific turning point in your career? You know, something, perhaps a certain wedding or award or something that has had a major impact on your career so far?
I I think I've pretty much realized that there aren't too many shortcuts in what you're doing
Mm,
because I feel like we always think, oh, that's that special award we need to win, or that's that special wedding we have to do, and then everything comes from your own.
mm,
But that's just not true. At least not for me.
right.
It's just a steady progress in what you're doing. It just basically just trying to get better and making things better. And I also like it's not that I don't. I mean, it would be easy if you just have one wedding and then everything comes from that one wedding and just then you're fine and just have to do your business, because but it's not the way I did, I guess.
Right. Okay. Yeah. It's
It's
been more
just
of a continual growth for you.
yeah, it continues to grow and just yeah, everything gets bigger with time. I mean, it's my sixth season this year, so yeah.
And you're still only, are you like 22 or something? Or
What are you saying?
are you just 22 years old now, are
Yeah,
you? Or
right, right,
wow,
22.
sixth season at 22. That
Yeah.
is that's mad. I didn't even pick up a camera then, I think. No, I had a little bit, but not so much. Um, let's change tack again slightly.
Okay.
If you could interview anyone in the world, who would it be?
Oh gosh. Um, I have to think about that.
You can think. That's good. Thinking is good.
I'd say Michael Phelps.
Oh, really?
He's a
Yeah.
swimmer, and just I would love to hear his. I think he's pretty inspirational in what he's doing, and just being such a
Was he an idol growing up for you?
yes, definitely. I feel like with all the motivation part, he's just insane because he did so much to get so good in swimming, and it's just insane. Like I think it would be him.
That's cool. Very cool. I'll try and arrange it for you.
That would be awesome, really.
If you weren't a wedding photographer, what would you be doing for a living, do you think then now? Would it be something to do with swimming or something totally different?
Thing is, you can't live from swimming, at least not in Germany.
Right, okay.
So it's, I mean, I would love to be a swimmer, but you just have to realize that you need to earn money, and I think I'm a better photographer than swimmer. So yeah, I just love photography. But I mean, I been to college besides photography.
Right.
I studied online marketing.
Oh,
So
okay. That's been handy for being a wedding photographer though as well.
yeah, well, this is one of the biggest fails in my life, I guess.
Oh, really?
Because you think if you're doing like online marketings and studying this for like 3.5 years, you would be great at all that stuff.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you always like when I came out of college and I knew it just basically wasn't like I learned nearly nothing. It was
Oh,
just
really? Okay.
brand new format in my college, and just it didn't work.
Okay.
And I really I learned nearly nothing. The stuff that I'm doing right now, I completely taught myself.
Right. Okay.
And just I did so many projects that was just for college, and like it wouldn't help me at all. I learned so much things about stuff that I will never use again in real life. So
Yeah.
because that's just a playground. It's just it's like most of the stuff you're learning in school, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There is so much that you never use again, isn't there?
Right.
Like
Right.
trigonometry and
Yes. Yeah.
yeah. So I remember I asked you earlier about what your parents thought when you started doing weddings. What do they think now? They must be very proud of you and how well you've done.
I don't have a really good relationship with my parents.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Yeah.
I I had to leave in last April. That's why I got a new like I'm now living together with my best friend, which is pretty cool as well. But I just don't have a good relationship with my parents, and I think they kind of understood now that what I'm doing was the right way. But I mean, I've been to college for them,
Oh,
just to
really? Right.
make them happy. And I did all of that stuff to like please my parents. And maybe that's advice for other people to make yourself happy and not trying, even if it's your family, to make yourself happy in the first place and do what's right for you, because
Mm.
you there are things that I'm really regretting right now, and college was one of the things that I'm regretting right now. And just I always think like what I could have done with the time that I had to put towards my college stuff, that if I would had that time to grow my wedding photography business, like
Right.
in which place I would have been now.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, do you?
I'm sorry to hear about that, but I totally, as you say there, it's so important to do what makes you happy. It must be tough though, but it is so important.
It's definitely not the easy way, but I think it's the right way.
Mm, totally. I totally agree. So by the way, what does inspire you? And do you look at other wedding photography or do you not look, some photographers specifically don't look at other wedding photographers. How do you feel about that? Do you look at other wedding photography?
I think yes, I do look at a lot of wedding photographers, but not like in a place that I want to do this shot or something like that. I mean,
Mm,
I like artworks and I just like looking at them, but they're just I don't think that I got a lot of stuff out of this, like for myself when I'm doing it. Just, I mean, I'm basically when I'm looking in my Facebook like chronic, I always feel like, oh, I'm happy for the other photographers who are winning awards,
mm,
and just I'm happy for others like who because they're creating cool work. And
that's cool.
yeah,
That's
but in with inspiration, um, I like a few street photographers.
oh, cool. Do
And
you do some street photography yourself?
Not really. I mean, that's another thing about me. I'm not doing a lot of photography in life, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
Um, I know that it might be cool if you're having kids and like documenting their lives, but I don't. So, and
Bit
I'm
too
not.
young for kids.
Yeah, I mean, I'm you're right, and
So do you,
I mean,
you don't really pick up the camera in the week, between
I
weddings?
don't.
No,
I
no, I don't either. No.
I don't. I'm not that kind of like photographer who just loves going out and just taking pictures of everything and all that stuff. It's not what I'm enjoying, I guess.
No, that's cool. You've got to stay true to yourself, you know.
I mean,
Yeah, does,
yeah, sorry.
no,
You
sorry, you
go
go on, Steve. You go on, Steve.
I mean, I love weddings and I love wedding photography because I love all those emotions and all those weird things going on and all of these cultures and all these it's just so much in one day, and that's kind of what's it's just crazy and what's fascinating me. And like I've never in my entire life seen something such cool and such like unique like weddings in some
Mhm.
place, because all the like even if the parts of a wedding are like might be the same at every wedding, but the people like always are completely unique and they're always having their like unique character, and just getting like all those people in front of your camera and just documenting their days. It's just what makes me happy and what makes me happy in life, and just that's what I'm enjoying.
That's cool, man. That's great. That sounds, you sold the job of being a wedding photographer really well there. That sounds like I want to be a wedding photographer. I- No, that's awesome. That's cool. I can hear the your joy for it, you know, as you talk about it. That's really cool. Um, do you have a particular piece of software or app that you couldn't do without?
Besides Lightroom.
Yeah, besides Lightroom, do you, yeah.
um I mean, I'm pretty much using that basic stuff like Lightroom, Photoshop. Yeah, I'm a photographer. I'm a Photoshop guy as well, at least to some point, because I can do more stuff to my images in
Mm.
Photoshop as well. So yeah. But
Cool.
besides that, I'm looking through my bar here right now. I'm using JPEG Mini,
Oh
and
yeah.
also I need to listen to music, so Spotify. Um,
Cool. And you can listen to some good podcasts on Spotify as
as
well.
well, as well.
Do you use any like keyboard or physical shortcuts for Lightroom? You know, anything that makes it
I don't.
quicker or
I
no?
don't. I just using my yeah, the basic stuff. I mean, I'm having a tablet for like Photoshop, but it's just a super small one, and it's everything I need.
Oh,
So
okay, cool,
yeah.
cool. Oh, there you go. That's good. All good. So let's change tack again a bit. What's a random fact about you that you think people would be surprised to know?
Oh gosh. Thing is, I'm a pretty open book, so it's
That's a good way to be.
yeah, like a lot of things come from my brain directly, and they're super unfiltered. So I'm an honest person.
Well, that's cool.
You
That's
could
very
say.
cool.
What people don't know about me. Um, I guess my life been super straightforward in everything, because I have just a few things that I'm doing, but I'm really enjoying them doing. So I don't have like a lot of private life. That's I'm a worker, so
Yeah, that's cool. And it sounds like you are a real worker, which is great. I mean,
I've never. Oh, two things. I've never been to a wedding for private, like a
that you weren't photographing.
yes.
Oh, really?
I've always
Wow.
been a
Still.
photographer at weddings.
Wow. That is that is quite unusual.
That's the first thing. And the second thing might be I never been to a club. I never been to a party or something like that.
Oh, really? Never ever.
Alive.
Wow, man. Not even because we met in Las Vegas last year. You didn't go to a club there or anything, no?
Yes, that's why what I like I really enjoyed this Vegas trip, which is well, you know the story better than people out there. It just I didn't enjoy Vegas at all. Just like this is one place that will never ever go again, if I don't have to, I guess.
Oh, that's funny. And we're quite different there because I love Vegas. I'm going again in a couple of weeks. Funny. But you've seen a lot more of America than I have. I need to see a lot more of America. I do.
I'm in love with this country, like really. I mean, their politics are pretty fucked up, but the rest of it is just pretty cool. And I love the people. I mean, I'm talking to the right person in the UK, so
Yeah.
complaining about political stuff.
It's funny. And they have good McDonald's over there. You know, they have McDonald's in America.
I mean, I only been to McDonald's like one time in like 3 trips, so I don't like fast food at all. So
Oh,
I'm
really?
trying to be pretty healthy, even if it didn't work like at Christmas and like the last trip. But I don't really like fast food at all.
Oh
Just
man, I love a McDonald's after a wedding. You know, about 2 o'clock in the morning, driving home.
I know
Oh,
that. I know that. I saw that on Facebook. You're posting a lot of that.
I just love it. It's the nicest thing. It is the nicest thing. Okay, cool. I think we've got time for let's just do one more question.
Okay.
What would be your top tips to help someone get better at the documentary side, especially of wedding photography?
To the documentary side of photography.
Yeah.
Um, just keep people going. Just really, just we're all like, just don't trying to post other people. Just basically the weirdest tip that I can give, but just keep yourself out of the thoughts and just focus on yourself and what you're doing and being creative with that instead of trying to post other people in the positions you're wanting them to have, and just because that's what makes me like way more creative in what I'm doing. Just keep myself out of other people's decisions.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's great advice. And some people are scared. They want to document weddings, but part of them still feels like they need to take control and maybe move people into better light or whatnot. But you don't need to do that, do you?
Be an open book about that in the first place. First, when you're meeting clients, even on your website, you have to say like, I'm not a director for your wedding day. I'm documenting what you're doing, and I'm not directing you in these places. And it's not that I don't do portraits, even if it got really rare. I like 20% of my weddings, I even have to do portraits and all that
Oh,
stuff.
wow. Right.
But like I'm pretty pure documentary photography, and that's what I'm doing. That's what I love, because I wouldn't say I'm a creative mind in kinds of directing, but I see the scenes and trying to do something different about that, and that's what I have my strength in.
That's very
So
cool. And that is that's an awesome side of creativity, is to
yes,
creatively capture what's in front of you, you know, rather than
yes,
you actually creating a scene. So that's brilliant,
and
I
I
think.
feel like it's way more pleasing
Yeah, totally.
because for you and for the clients as well. Because yeah, there are people who can like super like doing creative stuff with super like staged stuff and still looks good. But I always feel like what are what I want to remember and what the people in front of the camera want to remember. One, like I'm asking, like, want to remember like that I said to them you have to do this and this, or want to remember the things they're actually doing.
Totally. Yeah, it's exactly that. Yeah. Great advice, man.
And
Oh,
that's what I love about that documentary mindset, because it's hard and easier at the same time, I guess.
that's cool. Oh man, cool. That's so good. Honestly, that was so good. Oh man, it's honestly
Talking to you.
Steve. Oh, it's Stephen. It's been so good talking to you again. Thank you for your time. That was brilliant.
Thanks for having me. Really, it was really enjoyed it.
Oh, I really enjoyed it too. And if anyone's listening, was there editing or running or in the car or anything, you can head to the website and there'll be a full transcript of this and lots of examples of Stephen's work as well. And check out his website, and yeah, maybe your workshop and slash mentoring further in the year. Maybe that's all exciting.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it as well. We'll see.
Cool, man. Man, thanks so much. I'll see you
Thank you so
later.
much. See you.
Cheers, man. Bye bye.
Bye.
You've been listening to the 18th episode of the This is Reportage podcast. Really enjoyed talking to Stephen. Hope you enjoyed it too. Head to thisisreportage.com to see more of Stephen's work, including the specific Reportage Awards that we mentioned in the episode. If you enjoyed the podcast today, you can subscribe to the show on iTunes to be notified when each new weekly episode is ready, bringing you advice, tips and backstories from some of the world's best photographers each week. And if you have a few minutes to give us a review, that would be massively appreciated. Each review increases the chance of these fab people getting heard by more and more listeners. And if you're not yet a member of TIR, check out all the benefits of joining us, including an unlimited number of images on your profile, 60 Reportage Award and 18 Story Award entries per year, invites to our physical meetups and parties, exclusive discounts and more. Deadline for our next collection is 23:59 GMT on 24th of March 2020. No poses, nothing staged. This is Reportage. And this is bye for now.